Okay, so that was CVS. So we're on to Dell. Here we are. So in Dell's case, this was a different approach where we were going category by category. So we started with interns. Hey, let's talk about the intern experience and develop all of that content. And then after that, the content performed very well. So then we went on to veterans. What's it like to be a veteran? What does Dell do for veterans? And then women in technology. And then we're doing their rotational program next year. So it's something where if you have a hole, a content hole, you can have a very narrow focus if you'd like women in technology. So Dell's contribution, it was a little interesting because they have their employer brand leader and then also 3 team members who are also on the brand team. It was more than usual because at the time we started working with them on the intern project, they had just bought EMC. So we were doing work for Dell, but they also wanted to include EMC members to welcome them into the Dell family. They didn't just want it to be Dell intern experiences. Let's honor the experiences that EMC interns had too. What's interesting about this process is, as I mentioned, we always have a plan, but it's still fairly organic. We let our clients pick the people that we're talking to, and sometimes there's some, if you're kind of a type A organized person, it's like, oh, they're going to say anything? They could say anything. So they wanted to pick interns and then interview them ahead of time, and then have us come in. So we did that, and then once they saw the content and just how we work, they said, oh, okay, you guys got it. So you guys can take veterans. It works. The process works. The organic can work too. As I mentioned, they selected storytellers, and they were responsible for feedback sessions, seeing the content as it's being developed. And of course, this is what we did. Same thing every time. Getting good stories, creating content from those stories. And for them, we created 4 to 5 videos per category. We wrote 4 to 5 blog posts. What I think is really interesting about Dell is their blog also faces customers, also addresses customers and employees. It's a general blog. It's not a careers blog, while there is career site content there, career content there. So what's really great is if you're a candidate not thinking about working for Dell at all, but you are searching about your Dell product that you like, you're being hit with career site, employer branding and recruitment marketing content. Like, oh, this is interesting. Oh, so that's what it's like to work for Dell. So I think that's really brilliant because they do a good job, integrating all content about their company. We also, same thing like Sodexo, we took photos and we handed those over to Dell. So if for some reason, probably 70% of the work we do is video, but if that is too high a cost, and there are ways to do it affordably, photos still also work really well. Dell's a technology company, but the photos that we took and the slideshow we put together, which I'll show, performed very, very well. They had a lot of views and a lot of shares. And then we'll just click through a few. So these are just pictures and then quotes from the interview and some statistics. So those pictures we took, something that she said during the interview process, and this was viewed over 6,000 times in a short period of time. And here's our veteran content too. As I mentioned, we did the exact same thing for veterans, which were some really powerful, a lot of really powerful content from that too. Not only, there's lots of angles. The first is, how does Sodexo hire veterans, but also what does Dell do for their families? So we actually were able to create a ton of content around the veteran experience. So this is the Dell success just with interns. So 1.4 million social impressions with our content. You can see this is one of our photos, and then a quote from the interview, and over 1,000 people liked it. 68,000 views of the blogs that we wrote, and that content, this is just a snapshot in time. This is actually, let's see, the intern content launched in the fall of 2016, and this is June of 2017 is what these results are. And that's out there living and continuing to breathe and get views.